Hey guys, it's Vernie here. Just doing a quick recording on some of the new hero talents. I think last week they released four new talent trees. We did a Lightsmith review about a month ago, and I noticed that there was a priest one for Discipline and Holy. It's called Oracle, and I have a little bit of experience playing with these specs, so I figured I would give it a look, maybe give my thoughts, see if you guys have anything. I've already heard there's some rumblings. This one is pretty contentious. People do not seem to like this one, and I'm sure we will see why. Just for a little bit of background, in terms of Healing Priest, I was never big on Healing Priest. I started playing, I think, Holy in Shadowlands Season 4 when it was pretty popular with Kyrian Covenant. Boon of the Ascended was a crazy spell. You did a lot of damage, you had really solid healing, you had okay cooldowns. So I liked Holy a lot there. In season one, I played a bit of Holy and Shadow of Dragonflight, and season two of Dragonflight, I played pretty much exclusively Shadow. And then in season three of Dragonflight, I've played mostly Discipline with a little bit of Shadow. I've also done some in the raids. I think in season two, um, I did most of my cutting edge as a Shadow Priest, and I occasionally filled in as a Holy fill if we ever needed healers in the guild. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these. So the first talent is Premonition, replaces Power and Fusion. Divine the Future, gain access to a spell that gives you an advantage against your fate. Solace increases your target's healing received by 25% per 10 seconds. Insight increases your target's magic damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. And Glory increases your target's physical damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. So this is replacing PI. And PI is a flat haste buff. And the way that it was explained to me was that these selections would be kind of like Twisted Fate if you've played League of Legends, where he picks a card and it slowly cycles through the card, and then you hit it again to select which one you want, whether that's stun or mana restore or more damage, etc., etc. Now, knowing how Disc plays, trying to wait to cycle through something to pick one while you're trying to ramp seems really clunky, especially if it's on the global. So hopefully it's not on the global because that would be a bit ridiculous. It's definitely going to break up your ramps. It just seems annoying to cast. And then the buffs are also extremely questionable. I'm going to be honest. Splitting physical and magic damage seems like a really big oversight. Um, Most things don't deal one class of damage. Enhance deals a good bit of both damage. What deals exclusive damage? Warrior and Mage? Like Warlock doesn't. Demo Warlock doesn't. Uh, Mage, Shadow Priest. Are those like the only exclusive um, magic damage dealers? Boomkin maybe, but like I know Demo doesn't. And I wonder if this counts for pets. So like increases target's physical damage. Is that gonna work for BM pets? If it doesn't, it's pretty trash. In my opinion, they should just combine the magic and physical. Just make it a damage increase. I don't know. I'm already not a fan of this, and this is like the headline talent is a PI replacement, and PI is really contested right now because depending on your class in raid, if you're like one of the Giga classes that gets lucky to have everything stacked on you, including the Aug Evoker and the PI, yeah, you perform really well. And if you don't have those things, then your parses kind of suck. If you're a competitive person, it probably feels pretty garbage not having PI and an Evoker on you. If you're playing like Sin Rogue right now and you don't get PI, you're down pretty bad. It sucks. But I don't think this is a suitable replacement either, so I already don't like it. I'm already not a fan. But maybe there's some more on the tree. Let's continue looking. Preventative measures increases the damage absorbed by Power Word Shield by 10% and healing done by Prayer of Mending by 10%. Um, I mean, it's fine. It's pretty minor. It's not going to account for a lot of your healing, a couple percent. Shield is not huge right now, and Prayer of Mending is fine. It's Prayer of Mending is good because of what it does afterwards. Applies the Holy's Mastery, Trail of Light. Not big. Sure, whatever. Assured Safety. Power Word Shield applies one stack of Prayer of Mending to your target, and Prayer of Mending casts apply a Power Word Shield to your target at 20% effectiveness. Um, hmm. So assured safety for discipline seems okay. Applying a stack, well, it's only one stack of palm, so it's not going to bounce to anyone else. It's only going to proc off them. I mean, I guess it leaves a little bit of residual healing if they continue to take damage. I wonder if that procs atonement after the Prayer of Mending is spent, if they take damage again. And then for Holy, Prayer of Mending cast apply power word shield to your target at 20% effectiveness. It says cast, it doesn't say bounce. So does that mean the initial target is the only one that gets a shield and it's a little shield? I mean, it seems kind of, depending on how it interacts, it seems kind of bleh. So depending on, yeah, like, is it also going to apply the mastery there? I assume yes. I don't know. Seems pretty meh. Eh. At least this one was like a clear increase. This one seems like very like, meh. Do I even care? I don't know. I don't think so. Grand Reveal. When your power word shield is fully absorbed or your Prayer of Mending heals, gain a stack of Grand Reveal. At 150 stacks, you gain an additional charge of premonition. Okay, this is a little better. Now, I don't know how often your power word shield is being fully consumed. In Rage, I think it's likely. In Dungeons, maybe a little less so. I don't actually know. Tell you the truth, I really don't even notice my shield doing anything. Like things like Rapture is a pretty garbage cooldown in Dungeons. I use shield to apply atonement. I really don't. I don't care about the actual healing it provides. Now, off Prayer of Mending heals, that could be pretty good because it bounces around a lot. So more charges of premonition gives you a little more to play with. But again, that also like breaks into your ramps more. It takes you away from healing while you're selecting your PI. So I don't know. Could be okay. It was the capstone. Clairvoyance. Premonition has a low chance to grant you clairvoyance. And clairvoyance grants your target and two nearby allies all the effects of premonition at 100% effectiveness. Huh. Nearby allies. Okay, how does it prioritize those? And low chance, is that like 5%? It's already a 1 minute CD. So you just get lucky and you hope the dude next to you is someone who's going to benefit the most. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of lackluster for a capstone. I'm not feeling this one. I don't know. I already don't like the complaints around PI, and just double downing on it just feels really bad. So down the middle section now. Preemptive Care increases the duration of atonement by 1 second and increases the duration of renew by 3 seconds. I mean, sure, fine. This is like a partial of the set bonus. I think it's the current set bonus increases your atonement duration. That's always nice. 1 second's pretty minimal. Renew, sure, whatever. Like renew is pretty minor. I think it's applied by both specs have it if they want to cast it, and Holy Word Salvation also applies renew to people. So meh, might be okay. A choice node. Choose one. Prompt Deliverance reduces the cooldown of Purify by 2 seconds. Oh. So a 6 second Dispel CD. That's kind of interesting. That's something. Divine Feathers. When an ally walks through your angelic feather, you are also granted 100% of its effect. Why is the choice node between Dispel or Feather? These don't. I don't know. It feels like incongruent. It doesn't make sense. You would think they would be two competing things, not speed utility dispel. Like one is clearly better than the other. I would much rather have a reduced CD on dispel, especially in dungeons that have heavy dispel requirements. I I don't know. I'm a little confused with this one. Anyway, next choice node. Perfect Vision reduces the cooldown of premonition by 10 seconds. That would make it 50 seconds. Sure, whatever. Versatile Divinations. Premonition can now trigger the Brilliance and Urgency effects. Brilliance restores 5% of your target's maximum mana, and Urgency increases your target's haste by 12% for 10 seconds. So one is like Blessing of Winter from Paladins, and then increase your target's haste by 12%. It's like a mini PI, like a shitty PI. But I assume that also works off Clairvoyance, so depending on this proc rate, I mean, I think you'd still want to prioritize damage. So, like, it being random just feels kind of bad, and these buffs are like, eh? So someone is getting potentially 10% magic damage and 12% haste, and then someone else could be getting 10% physical damage and 12% haste, and that's great. Like, what if the healer? Like, who cares if the healer gets 5% of mana? Like, just get innervated, bro. I don't know. This seems really lackluster again, and I don't like double downing on this PI garbage or fake PI, whatever it is. So going down the right side now, choose one. Waste no time. Premonition causes your next Power Word Radiance, Heal, or Prayer of Mending to be instant cast and costs 15% less mana. So that's I think that's the season 2 set bonus for disc, but it's only after Premonition. So once a minute. Like, yeah, having more Radiance is great. Once a minute is like it's okay. I mean, there's going to be some spots where you can make use of that additional ramp, but I can't see it being super impactful. And then heal or prayer of mending to be instant cast and cost 15% less mana. That's like nothing for holy. Why do we care about that? It's not buffing a holy word. Why do we care? Miraculous recovery reduces the cooldown of power word life by 3 seconds and allows it to be usable on targets by 50% health. Is that a typo? Is it supposed to be at 50% health? Kind of regardless, like power word life is pretty trash. Right now, Power Word Life is a choice node between 3% all healing or Power Word Life. Like, I think the only time I've ever taken Power Word Life is on Afflicted Weeks when I'm trying to solo the affix, and I'll dispel one and then I'll Power Word Life the other. And normally, with like a little bit of healing into it plus Power Word Life, it's topped. That seems like pretty garbage. I think I would take Waste No Time over Miraculous Recovery. Foreseen circumstances. Pain suppression reduces damage taken by an additional 10%. Guardian Spirit lasts an additional 2 seconds. Again, pretty meh. Pain Sup is already a good enough CD. 10 additional percent doesn't really do anything. It's not very impactful. When is it going to save someone? Guardian Spirit lasts an additional 2 seconds. Okay, great. Cool. I don't really care. Like, in my opinion, why are they not adding a defensive to Healing Priest? Healing Priest are already the squishiest healers. They have no kick. All they bring is PI, Mass Dispel. That's really it. Their cooldowns suck. I would rather have a personal cooldown or like an option. I know in the Hunter tree they added if you use Exhilarate, you get your DR, and if you use your DR, you get like a mini Exhilarate. And like that's a cool idea. Why couldn't they bake something into Desperate Prayer or just give an additional CD? I don't know, something. Priests are already pretty squishy. They're very scary to play in raid and in dungeons. This doesn't do anything. Moving on. Choose one. Divine Providence increases the duration of your premonition by 2 seconds. Does that make it 12 seconds? One more global? Cool, I guess. And Fatebender. Premonition's effect is increased by 30% if the divine spell is different than the previous premonition. So you're wanting to cycle through them. Like, oh, I did magic damage. Now I'm going to do haste. Now I'm going to do physical damage. I'm never going to do the mana one because fuck that. Healers can manage their mana. We always want more damage. Yeah, I mean, neither of these seem very enticing. I'm going to be honest. Revolving this entire. I'm fine with, I think, with healers having more of a support role. I'm fine with them leaning into that and trying to get away from support only classes. Like Lightsmith, there could be some interesting things there for Holy Paladin. But this I feel like is a big lost opportunity. You could have added something really fun to Discipline and Holy. Specifically, I would like to see a defensive or a kick. That way they could be on par with other healers. Right now, having a healer who can't take a kick can sometimes be bad. In the current season, it's not terrible, but there are dungeons where like you would want more kicks, and Priest offers nothing, and it's not defensive. It's a pretty squishy healer. And when you look at that and like the Holy Paladin toolkit, it's a very stark difference because Holy Paladin is so defensive and has a kick. So I think doubling down on this PI nonsense is not fun. Nobody likes it. When you're a class that gets PI, it's cool, I guess, if you're that one destined Giga class to get it. But if you're supposed to be getting it and you don't, it feels terrible. I feel like this is not it, you know? And I can't think of a supplement. I can't think of how they would replace it and make PI feel good, but not bad when you're not getting it, if that makes sense. But I don't think this is it. I think the magic physical damage split is awful. I think having to break up your rotation to select the buff is terrible. Like, none of these feel very impactful. Like clairvoyance could be interesting if it targets the right people and depending on the proc rate. But if it's like 2%, then like who cares? It's a 1 minute CD, a 2% proc on a 1 minute CD. Like wow, someone got a god pull and we got extra, mini PIs. Like I would rather just take normal PI and lean into my healing kit. Like none of these talents drastically alter any of your play style. Well, apart from this one, but it does it in a negative way. Like I don't want to stop casting to cycle through my buffs. I want to keep casting. I want to keep ramping. I want to keep healing. I want to keep damaging. I don't want to cycle through a buff. Like what if a Fury Warrior pops all his cooldowns, over two, 3 globals depending, and I have to cycle through my fucking card to get to a glory to increase his physical damage. By the time I get it to him, his cooldowns are half over, and I've messed up my healing. How's that beneficial for anyone? So I don't know. In my opinion, there's got to be a better way to do support stuff than this, and I hope Blizzard takes a hard look at it and does not release it in this state. This is not a good solution. This doesn't fix PI. I think it actually makes it worse. I would rather deal with the current PI problems we have now compared to Premonition. But those are just my thoughts on the matter. If you guys have anything, feel free to leave it in the comments. This is a pretty contentious hero talent tree. If you want to catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Veronix, I'll be streaming later this week. We'll probably do a couple more of these reviews. May as well just go through the talent trees. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Peace.